So I've loaded up this space shooter sample scene that comes as an add-on with PlayMaker 2. And I've loaded it up here because it's a good example of how to use one of the new features of PlayMaker 2, which is data definitions. PlayMaker 2 also has an entirely new approach to data in general. So this is actually several features that I'll give you a quick glimpse into. Let's start with something simple, which is event data. PlayMaker 1 had event data, and that was using Unity's own built-in system that was able to send data with events. But there were some shortcomings to that. With PlayMaker 2, there is a much more robust and modern take on sending data with events. So the example I've loaded up here is within a sample scene that's available in the add-on section of PlayMaker 2. And here's a good place to check out something in the UI panel. So you could see that here in this target manager, this state is listening for two events, add target and clear target. And you can see right here, it has a little paperclip. And what that paperclip is saying is that there's data attached with it. And so if I select this add target event over here in the transition panel, you can see that the event data is its own little category here. And that one of the things that's specific to the add target event is a value called target. And that's a game object variable. So the FSM that sent that over here told us that this beacon1 is our target variable. So it really does just come with the event. You can see that on this action, there's no states in here. And even in here, there's not like there's an action that says, hey, get that data. It just comes with it. As soon as this transition receives that corresponding event, you could just put actions that reference that new data. So right here, we have these actions that say target manager and stuff like that. And it's already using this variable target. It removes all that legwork of having to manually find and target and set specific values in your FSM that you would have had to do in PlayMaker 1. This new system isn't just a quality of life update. It's a more powerful and totally different way of programming your game. It's something that is both powerful and easier to use. Now, that's just one part of the data. You can see that events, they come with this one little piece of data that you can send with it. There's ways to send a whole chunk of data if you wanted to. And that's by using something called a data definition. So in that case, we're going to come over here to this beacon that got created. And this beacon, in this game, it's like we have these several beacons, and they all have different values about them. They might have different names, they might have different information within them. And so the way that's set up is there's just a prefab that you could set as beacon, but on it, it has this thing right here, this data component. And the data component lets us set the label of it. So this is beacon Mark III. So you could say the other one is Mark II or Mark VI or whatever it is. And then the image for it, you could set a little sprite icon. And so that could be used somewhere in your UI where if you're looking at it or if it's off screen or something, you could put a little beacon icon that says, hey, there's a beacon over there. And then the color of this too, you can also set what the color of that actual icon is, right? So all this is under this little label right here called pickup info, because that's what this data definition is called. This is an element that's used for the UI targeting this beacon game object. Let's double click on this data definition. This is the actual asset that's saved in the project. So you could think of this as a template under which you could fill out all the information for something that is reusable that you want to be able to manage more cleanly and clearly if it has a lot of data. For example, some games might have enemies that you want to have different health and speed and damage points, even names or special powers, or the models that they use or the sprite that shows up if you're examining them in some menu. Whatever it is, that can all be managed in data definitions. Another data definition in this space shooter project is the message data definition. And this one has a sender, so you can kind of imagine this is the name of the person who sent the message, and then the message itself. And then you can even play an audio clip that plays with that message. And then the sender itself is even a definition, so that whoever sent that can also have additional information about them, like what their name is, the color of their UI element when it shows up. So maybe you want the friendlies to be green and the enemies to show up as red. And then it has a little portrait sprite, so you could put up a little image of their face when they're sending you a message. And none of this would be complete if you couldn't also create tables out of this. So you can see here that we have the data table editor, and this lets you look at a whole series of entries using a specific data definition. So for example, the message data definition has a table where it shows up a bunch of times. So you can make a table for each mission that you want to make. This one is a mission for the combat tutorial, but this one is a mission for the movement tutorial, and they have different messages that can be picked up. So in the combat tutorial, you see that there's the intro, there's wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and these are the messages that come in sequentially. And you can see that the sender is control, that the message that comes in says shoot the turret, or okay, hot shot, let's play, whatever it is. The data table serves as a tool for you to have a much clearer view of broader designs in your game, and to see it all in the same place and be able to edit it all in the same place, instead of having to go into individual places and change very specific values that are nested within all these other submenus. Here, the flow of the mission combat tutorial is all designed within this one table, and you could see it laid out in front of you very clearly and plainly within the table editor. And it's really crazy too, because you can also use CSVs. You can export all of this as a CSV, and you can also use a CSV to import data as well. And the fact that game objects and all these things have different reference IDs means that if you did want to use a CSV, you can even use spreadsheets to reference game objects in your game and do a bunch of offline editing. You can almost imagine just being on your phone and editing a spreadsheet out in the middle of the desert where you have no reception, and then being able to come home and then offload that spreadsheet into your game, and it just knows how to talk to your player and your missions and everything, and it just kind of works. Very, very, very powerful tool. All this data stuff. The data definitions themselves, the table editor, the data components that you put on each of these things, the data components, the data definitions themselves. And remember, when we were talking about events, you could send an entire data definition's worth of data with events. So in here on this add target, this is a game object that came with it, but it could have just as easily been a data definition, and you could pack in as many game objects you want with a bunch of strings and a bunch of other float variables, images and sprites, sound, audio clips, whatever you want. It can just come packed with a bunch of data, and it all just gets sent like that within this event, and then you could do whatever you want with it on the other side. This kind of tool is great for beginners to learn, and there will definitely be tutorials for this. But if you're a power user, veteran programmer, you can already see how this can streamline your development process so much.